BS English Part 1 in the University of Sindh campus Larkano. And this video is for the video presentation of my first semester examination. Let's start it. This video presentation is about the subject Introduction to Literature, and the teacher is Mme. Inayat Fatma. Here are four topics of the subject Introduction to the Literature, which I have chosen for this video presentation, which are: number first, why do we study literature? Second, impulses behind literature. Third, poetry. And fourth, role of literature in society. Now, our first topic, which is what is literature and why do we study literature? So, what is literature? Literature comes from the Latin word litera, which comes literally means an acquaintance with letters. Or it is a body of work, either written, oral, or visual, containing imaginary language and realistically portrays thoughts, emotions, and experience of a human condition. In other words, it is a product of particular culture that concertize man's array of values, emotions, actions, and ideas. It is therefore a creation of human experience that tells about people and their world. Literature is an art that reflects the works of imagination, aesthetics, and creative writing, which are distinguished by the beauty of style or expression. Literature raises life to a new level of meaning and understanding, and it is a process restores sanity and justice in an insense and injustice world. Literature is a reflection of society, and literature is life. Now, why do we study literature? We study literature to benefit from the insight of others, to open our minds to ambiguities of meaning, to explore others' culture and beliefs, to appreciate why individuals are the way they are, to expand our grasp in the machination of history, to exercise our brains, to teach us to see individual bias, to encourage us to question accepted knowledge, to help us see ourselves as others do, to appreciate the contribution literature has made of history, to see the tragedy, to further our mastery of language, to recognize language devices and appreciate their emotional power, to explore ethical complexities, to see the admirable in everyday life, to learn better ways to behave, to know we aren't alone, to refine our judgment, to learn to support our points of views and trust our interpretation, to develop empathy for those who are unlike us. Next topic, which is impulses behind literature. Literature grows directly out of life, so it is obvious that in life itself we have to search for its sources. Hudson, in some ways of studying literature, discusses four major impulses that have given birth to the various forms of literary expression. The four impulses behind literature which Hudson talks about are our desire for self-expression, our interest in people and their doings, our interest in world of reality and imagination, and the last, our love for form as form. First one, our desire for self-expression. In this, Hudson says that we are strongly impelled to confine to others what we think and feel. All of us have a natural desire to express ourselves. We always want to open our heart to others. We wish to express our feelings and thoughts to others. This desire for self expression results into the production of literature. A piece of literature is expression of writer's mind and heart, his emotions and ideas. Thus, our desire for self-expression is the first and primary impulse that gives birth to literature. Our interest in people and their doings. In this, Hudson said, we are intensely interested in men and women, their lives, motives, passions, relationships, admit Hudson. Our interest in the life of other people and their doings gives birth to literature. As human beings, we cannot live quite aloof from others. We always like to know about other people, their thoughts, their feelings, their problems, and their resistance to certain problems, their achievements and limitations, and their success and failure. In order to know about other people, their thoughts, the way of their life, and their custom and life, we read, write literature. Our interest in world of reality and imagination. In this, Hudson said the two reasons that stimulate the production of literature are men's interest in the world of reality and men's escape from the world of reality to world of imagination. As a man, we are always interested in what is going on around us, what is happening around us. As a man of thoughts, also we are eager to know the things around us, the realities of the world. Our interest in the world of realities results in the production of literature. And many a times, man is fed up with the world of realities. He wants to escape into the world of imagination, where the experiences mental bliss. Man creates his own world, the world of imagination, and lives a peaceful life away from the world of a bitter realities. The world of fantasy and fancy makes our life better than real world. This also results into the production of literature. The world's great literatures are mixed production of world of realities and imagination. Last one, our love for form is form. In this, Hudson believes we take special satisfaction in the mere shaping of expression into form of beauty. Man, by his nature, is unable to keep his experience, observations, emotions, ideas, fancies to himself. But he is, on the contrary, under the stress of constant desire of expressing these to others, and for that he chooses various channels of expression. Man is also fond of particular form of literature, and many a time his love for particular form results in production of literature. To sum up, we can say that these four impulses give birth to literature. It is natural that all these impulses merge together in a good literary work when we try to express ourselves. Our third topic, which is poetry. What is poetry? A collection of words that expresses an emotion or idea. Poems are literally attempts to share personal experience and feelings. Poetry, literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language, chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. In other words, literary work in which expression of feelings and ideas is given instantly by the use of distinctive style and rhythm, poems collectively or as a genre of literature. Now, the type of literature. There are two types of literature, subjective poetry and objective poetry. Subjective poetry. The subjective matter of a subjective poetry is concerned with the poet's own thoughts and feelings. The poet describes his own reflection upon what he has seen or heard. Whatever the subject may be, the poet's mind is centered on his own thoughts and feelings. Subjective poetry is the product of civilization. The lyric and elegy represent subjective poetry. Objective poetry. Objective poetry is older than subjective. The primitive people among whom it developed, like the uncivilized races in some parts of the world today, were more interested in what they saw and heard. That is what they thought. They valued the experience of their eye and ear more than the experience of their mind. Deep thinking may even have been irksome to them, considering that their life was simple, composed more of actions than of thoughts. Their poetry therefore deal with deeds, events, and things they saw around them, and it called for little mental efforts from their hearers. At the early stage, man has not acquired a subjective outlook, which is the product of civilization. The epic and the drama are the form of objective poetry, in which, as the plot, the writer's personality remain in the background. The lyric and the elegy, which belongs to the later time, represents the subject variety. Our last topic, which is role of literature in society. Literature has had a major impact on development of society. It has shaped civilizations, changed political system, and exposed injustice. Literature gives us a detailed preview of human experiences, allowing us to connect on basic level of desire and emotion. However, just as it has constructed societies, the writings and works of certain authors have dragged societies to their most primitive form. The UAE is only 36 years old. In a country that is still undergoing rapid development, the potential impact of literature is indubitable. An educated youth, which holds the future of the nation in the hands, has the power of influences change. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth, said Kevin Na. Importance of literature in society. Literature is important to society because it reflects culture, values, and serves as a tool for teaching those values to others. Through literature, people can learn about specific periods in history and events that change the world. Prose and poetry also provides a way of express emotions, raises questions, and build critical thinking skills. Readers can learn about their culture, past, and present through literature. The description of the setting and action of the characters put them in the middle of action. For example, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe is set in pre-colonial Nigeria and includes depiction of how European settlers changed the region. Gabriel Garcia Marquez's work, Hundred Years of Solitude, doesn't just take place in Colombia, the story also retells the country's history. Literature within history. History is not only a gateway to the past, it's also suggestive of our present and the future. Within every time period lies different people and within them different stages in our ever growing culture. Each individual before was a project of their own time. As a species, we evolve every day, and without the time steps that literature gives us, we would know nothing about that past. Literature allows a person to step back in time and learn about on earth from the ones who walked before us. We can gather a better understanding of culture, have a great appreciation of them. We learn through the ways history is recorded, in the forms of manuscripts and through speech itself. The impact of literature. The impact of literature in modern society is undeniable. Literature acts as a form of expression for each individual author. Some books mirror society and allows us to better understand the world we live in. Authors like F. Scott Fitzgerald are prime example of this as his novel The Great Gatsby was a reflection of his experience and opinions of America during the 1920s. We are easily connected to the psyche of authors through their stories. However, literature also reiterates the need to understand modern day issues like human conflict. Importance of literature. Literature is a reflection of humanity and a way for us to understand each other. By listening to the voice of another person, we can begin to figure out how that individual thinks. I believe that literature is important because of its purpose and in a society which is becoming increasingly detached from human interaction. Novel creates a conversation. This video presentation was about the subject Introduction to Literature's four topics. Why do we study literature? Impulses behind literature, poetry, and role of literature in society. So this was all about this video presentation. Thank you.